between Japan and Taiwan. Postmaster of Japan, konnichiwa, welcome. This is my preview of my keynote speech in August, so please feel free to give me feedbacks in the lower note. I'm using the title for my speech, the Whitney Houston song, One Moment in Time. Some of you may remember, that was the 1988 Summer Olympic. The reason that song rings a bell, not only because it's about Olympics, the winning, the joy of triumph, and the agony of defeat, but it's also a song that, especially by Whitney Houston, that I connect with. Because in the summer of 1988, the life I had built up to that point was suddenly turned upside down. Just like Fukushima 2 years ago, a big earthquake and tsunami. Yes, it could happen in one life as well. And a year after that, 1989, I came back to Taiwan from New York, and I walked in to Prestige Toastmasters Club. And Toastmasters danced into my life. It was one of those romance of love at first sight. We looked in each other's eyes and asked that eternal question, where have you been all my life? What took you so long for us to meet here in Taiwan? It is a love affair, unlike both, where it's very possessive. It's an affair that I wish it could be shared with as many people as possible. Here I am about to step into the leadership of Toastmaster organization. And in any leadership, there is called the big L and the little L. The little L is the little leadership. Leadership is leading one's life. And the big L is leading for other outside of yourself. Let me start with the little L and share you with my story. How I ended up where I am. At one moment in time, when I walked into a Toastmasters club, and how the life developed from there. Let me start the story long, long time ago, back in the last century. Maybe a few years after the dinosaurs disappeared from Earth. When I was a child, growing up in Taipei, Taiwan, my mother took me to a fortune teller. Many families have family doctors, or lawyers, or accountants. My family, we have family fortune tellers. The fortune teller looked at my birth date, that moment in time where my birth was aligned with the stars, and said very seriously, this child, you must send him far, far away. Because if he stays in Taiwan, he will become a juvenile delinquent. Now, you have to understand, I was the only child of a prosperous business executive. To send a child, only son away, that's ridiculous. But then again, we believe in this fortune teller. So the minute I turned 16, my parent sent me off to Tokyo, Japan, to live with my aunt and uncle as their adopted son. In those days, not too long after the dinosaurs, many of you might remember the propeller planes. Yes, you only see them in museums now, but I got on that plane. And in those days where international travel was rare, it was expected to be a one-way journey. You leave Taiwan, you don't know when you're going to come back. So it was a very cheery goodbye. In Tokyo, I stayed with my aunt and uncle in Nakameguro, not far from Shibuya, my old stomping ground. So I'm very familiar with Yokohama. While there, I attended an international school where English was the major language of instruction. And it was there I met the first failure in my life. My English teacher decided that my English is poor and sent me off to study after class, to study English grammar. It's a subject I never understood, because both Taiwanese, which is my mother tongue, and Mandarin has no grammar, but English I still don't understand. My English teacher, his name was Miss Fujimori. I think she must have been a Nisei or something. Now, if only Miss Fujimori could see me now, become the international president of Toastmasters, she'd probably just... What do you think of my English now? So, things can change. 4 years after I graduated, I went in search of adventure and my destiny. From Yokohama, as a matter of fact, I got on a half-freighter, half-passenger ship called the Oriental Pearl. And it set sail for San Diego. That was in May 16th. And long before Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Titanic, I was standing on the bow of the ship. He must have copied after me, I don't know. The only difference is there was no beautiful woman to make my journey exciting. All the passengers are immigrants with children and old retired ladies. So it was a very Pacific ride across the Pacific. Fast forward my life 20 years. In New York City, I achieved the American dream. I had a thriving business, trading business in New York, Midtown Manhattan. And I had a beautiful home in suburban New Jersey. And a California wife. Yes, auburn hair, 3 children, 2 cars, and 1 dog. I mean, what more can I ask? And there's a saying, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then, like any earthquake in Fukushima, suddenly it hit. All of a sudden, the world economic system started changing. I was struggling to save my business. I did not understand what the earthquake was until only recently. It's a thing called computers. That was in 1985, 86. Computer, if you see a computer growth, it went from this to like this. In 1989, it was just taking off. All of a sudden, the foundation of the international trade business doesn't exist anymore. The whole industry is devastated. In my struggle to save that earthquake, that business, I didn't understand, I even bought a factory in Dayton, Ohio. And I was commuting back and forth every Monday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and come back Friday night trying to do something to save the business. And then while there, I received a notice from an attorney, from my American wife, asking for a divorce. So I was fighting fire, burning, as I say, a candle was burning on both ends. And at that time, the worst of it was that the divorce took the wind out of my sail. I lost my will to fight. And in those dark days, the only thing that helped me guide through the darkness was a prayer by a German philosopher, Niebuhr Reidel. He said, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change that which I can, and the wisdom to tell the difference between the two. Well, my wisdom tells me this is one battle I cannot win. The only option for me is to surrender to my fate with as much grace as possible. And against the advice of my psychiatrist or a therapist, I decided to end my 20 years in the United States and return back to Taiwan. My therapist said, if you leave your children now, you will lose them forever. So don't. But my reasoning was very simple. I don't have a PhD in psychiatry, but I know that if I'm not whole, I am no good to my 3 children. So I decided to go back with a personal commitment to my 3 children, that no matter who I am, I will always be there for them, financially, emotionally, in whatever ways possible. But I need to go back. So there I was, flying back to Taipei, this time on a jet plane instead of a sailboat. And there was a poignant moment, because I went back with the same backpack and suitcase that I left Yokohama with. And the only thought is the only proof of my 20 years in the United States were my 3 children. Without them, everything would have been a midsummer night dream, as Shakespeare said. So I returned to Taiwan essentially from zero at midlife. Other than my parents, I had no family, no job, and no friends. I was starting from zero. Now looking back, that was a great moment in time when how often do you get to design your life with all the experience and okay, what am I going to do at midlife? I was unemployed for 1 year. It was a very enjoyable time, actually, in hindsight. But walked into a prestige Toastmasters meeting, and there I started making friends, and things in my life started coming together, the self-confidence and so forth. But as I said, it was a perfect time for Toastmasters to enter my life. Because the best time to learn is when all the things that I've learned in the past, all my life, up to a point has been taken down, reduced to zero. And then when you begin to learn, this is a great time to do so. And many of you may remember our founder, Dr. Ralph Smedley. He said, Toastmasters is in the business of change. Well, if you're going to change, the best time to change when you're at a low point in life, where you question everything. All the things that you've done have changed. Now, one of the things that, coming from zero, you can rethink what are your values and priorities. And one thing I became conscious of is that material success is no longer important or enough for me. I needed more than that. So I had to weigh my options. What should I do? I could either get a job in the post office and hide the rest of my life. Quiet. Or I can get a job at an international corporation with a big fat salary. But none of that excited me. There was an opportunity. The company that my father founded 25 years ago was failing, and nobody wanted the job. So they asked me to take over that failing company. I said, well, and the salary is about 1/3 that of American corporations, so what kind of better deal can you get out of that? But I feel I owe this to my father, to do something about this business. What happened was that this is a deja vu, a repeat of what I went through only 4 years ago in New York City. It was a business model that is failing under the trend of time. No amount of superhuman effort can save the business. So 3-4 years after I entered business, I decided to lay off 250 workers and close the business. Well, it was very difficult. But to quote a Japanese samurai saying, to die before battle. If you've gone through hell and back, nothing else really matters. If it's only money or whatever, you do what you have to do. But also you get to see things in a much clearer way that you cannot see otherwise. Well, in hindsight, after closing up the business that today, it's been ridiculous to try to save. It's a factory, heavy labor intensive. polluting and so forth. That doesn't exist in Taiwan. But somebody has said the end of history has come. So I'm glad I did that, and as mentioned, one of the lessons we learn in life, sometimes you have to surrender, let go, in order to get something new. And that was a problem. The business since then has prospered and transformed into a very different kind and viable business. And it was since then, after going through that, I started rebuilding the business. To today, I'm running 6 businesses on that base. So, coming back to Toastmasters. Toastmasters entered that time. It was the perfect timing. I learned as I struggle with what I'm dealing with. And Dr. Rossman said the only thing about change, well, we are in the business of change. I'm learning as I go along. Now, one of the things, there are many things I've learned in Toastmasters, and many of you have also talked about it, but one of the things I learned is that my whole journey started when I was a club president of Prestige. And then from there, area governor, and eventually district governor. It is the first time I learned the idea of service leadership. Most of our leadership are about authority. I'm the boss, you listen to me, don't question. Say hi. Or go outside, or whatever. But service leadership is about a different kind of leadership that you cannot learn in the business world. You lead because people want to follow. And that is the toughest kind of leadership. So as I go along, then you also learn one of the profound paradox of life, I say, is that the more you give, the more you get. And this is what suddenly understood what are the core values of Toastmasters. Service leadership. What do you mean by that? Yes, you do for others. But it is in the service that we understand this profound truth about service leadership. And from there, when I became the district governor in the year 2004, my theme was empower and achieve. And 8 years later, I understood now more than what I meant by that. Because that whole idea of empower and achieve also comes back in the way I run my business. What do I mean by empower and achieve? In Toastmasters, in that kind of leadership, we not only empower ourselves in our position of leadership, but also we empower others to do things for you and together and team. By delegating, by allowing others to help you do your job. It is a miracle. It's happening. And my first lesson in that kind of leader empowerment was when I was Lieutenant Governor of Marketing. I said, I'm not a salesman. I don't know how to market. And to my surprise, we ended the year, I think, select distinguished. I didn't do it all by myself. Even though Taiwan is a tiny island, it is humanly impossible to do it myself. It's the team that's able to come together and work on a common goal. So that was my first lesson about empowerment as an LGM. And as district governor, again, it's about leadership. And leadership is it's not about management. It's not about a manager. It's about leading and inspiring others to achieve more than you could do yourself, as you well know. And like the Japanese, you have done a fantastic job in the transformation of the last 2 years. Let's give them applause. Really. And because we have been, sister districts growing up together. So we are watching each other for a long time. So how does it empower and achieve comes up more and more. One of the big questions that people often ask me is, George, how can you run 6 businesses and still have time to be the international president? It's a fair question. Well, the Chinese way I would say this is from the Lao Tzu, the Wu Wei, which means, I don't know, English term, do nothing. But essentially, it's not important. I need to do everything, have to be successful because of me, to empower others to help me achieve. So it is a kind of philosophy that I think has served me well, and after 20 years, I can say with a certain amount of conviction, it is a kind of leadership that works well. If anything, that's my message for Toastmasters. So, Toastmasters is the business of change. The only constant in the world is change, and it's getting faster and faster. So why do I pick the theme, one moment in time? Because that's all we have. No matter how long you live, that's all you have is that one moment in time. The only question is, what do you do with that one moment in time? Do you seize that moment, good or bad, by the way, it all will pass. But if you seize that moment, you will have been winning your race with destiny. So seize your moment, make the best of it in that one moment in time.